Hey everyone. So I want to go over a little bit about the color theory exercise number 3 that we are going to be doing, and just make sure that we all understand how to approach this so that we can be successful in case you were not in class for this, or in case you're doing this as a completely online course. So I am just going to share my screen for a minute. Let's just do this. And sorry. So here we are in Canvas. Here's the exercise. You can just click right here and download this file. I provided you with an AI file to use as a base for this. So there it goes. I'm on a Mac, you on the PC. You can also right click on this and tell it to download and save. But here is my file, and I'm just going to double click on that, and that will launch it here in Adobe Illustrator. Sorry, my desktop is a little messy with all of these windows and that I have opened. Let me move me out of the way too. Actually there, we don't even need to see me. So here we go. Here is the assignment. All of this is usable areas. I have done everything you could possibly need me to do to this. I would recommend locking layer number 2. We'll primarily be working on layer number 1. Layer 2 has some text on it for this wheel when I was creating it. And you don't really need to edit that. So I'm just going to zoom in a little. And first thing I'm going to do is take my type tool and go ahead and triple click or highlight the text in here. And you should put your name in here. And we are done with that. And we're going to talk about this. So if you have not done so already, you should be looking at some of the videos that I have shared and posted up for you on color theory. There were 3 different videos for you to watch. You've also done some reading in your graphic design, the new basics, talking about the importance of color, but this goes into a little bit more, the videos go into a little bit more detail about the theory. So we're going to be working off primary colors of red, yellow, and blue. That is going to be the color wheel we're going to create. One of the videos you will watch will go over in more detail that, like, really we work in different color modes. There is red, green, and blue. If you're working for video or screen-based applications, you're creating in that. Or in design, we often create for print, which is cyan, magenta, and yellow. So the theory of what we learn with the red, yellow, blue is traditional to 2D design. So if you're painting in that, this is kind of the basis of all of that. But there's more than one theory, but this will give you the basic understanding, because a lot of it has to do with how colors interact with each other. So you can just easily select any of these with your selection tool. And if you go up, if you're in the Essentials Classic mode, you can do that by switching the mode, Essentials Classic right there. In your swatches, you have up here like CMYK red, CMYK yellow, there's CMYK green, there's cyan, there is blue. There's also some colors down here that are very helpful that we can use, but I'm just going to do my red. Let's do this as a fill color of yellow, and let's select this, and I will do a fill color of blue. So very easy. You're then going to use some color theory and kind of figure out what are the secondary colors. So you get secondary colors by mixing any of the primary together. So red and yellow make orange. So again, I'm just going to select this. Let's make that red. Select this one, we'll make it yellow, and then I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to come over here, and I don't have an official CMYK orange, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to click on that. There we go. There is my orange. Then I could do red, and let's do blue. Red and blue make what color? Hopefully your answer was violet or purple. We prefer to call it violet, but either will do. So there, I'm going to select a violet color. There is that. And then we do blue and yellow, or yellow and blue, however you want to do it. And mixing these 2 colors make green. So there you have primary colors of red, yellow, blue, secondary colors of orange, violet, and green. Now, if you look over here on this color wheel, we have it. There's yellow, there's red, and there's blue. I'm going to go over and work on this for a minute before I create what we call the tertiary or intermediate colors. These are created by mixing a primary with a secondary. So if I mix red and orange together, it will create red orange. It's always named after the primary. So yep, it's going to be an orange. It's just got more red in it than it does yellow. So it's still orangey, but a little more on the red side. Same thing, if I mix red and violet together, that makes red violet. Blue and violet makes blue violet. Make sense, hopefully? So I'm just going to do this first. Let's come over to our color wheel. To do this, this is actually a group of objects I use to create that. The text is now locked because we locked layer 2. You're going to use a tool that can be found over here. It is under your shape builder tool. So the little circles with the arrow, shape builder. We want the live paint bucket. So by clicking and holding, there's the live paint bucket tool. You can hit K on your keyboard as long as you're not in a text tool. It will activate the live paint bucket. And the way this works is any group of objects selected, and these are already grouped for you, it will allow you to fill areas that have lines intersecting them with color. So I need yellow. If I go up to here, I can select yellow, come back, click, and it fills that area with yellow. And you can see there's a little sample here above my cursor. I can use my arrow keys to kind of scroll through the colors in my swatches. So I'm just going to go back with my arrow to red. I'm going to fill that one. And then I'm going to go forward a few till I get to the blue. And there's blue. So there are my primary colors on my color wheel. And notice they create a triangle. Here's a triangle in here. I'm actually going to fill in part of this triangle. There's a little more clicking to do just to show you. So this is what we call a triadic color. We'll get down to that a little bit later, but might as well talk about it now while we're doing this. And I'm kind of completing this color wheel as we go to economize our time. So there we go. There they are. There is the main triadic color theme. You could rotate this triangle. These are all perfectly in harmony with each other. So there you go. Now I know I need to do orange and violet, so I'm going to select this again, go back to my live paint bucket. Let's scroll through. Let's get to my orange. There's orange. There's green. And again, you can go up to here if you want to and click and select the next color. There's violet. And then just come back and click, and I filled that in. And again, this is another triangle. So it's just upside down version of this, another perfect harmony. These three colors work very well together. And now we see, now we need to create these tertiary colors. So this can be done very easily. I'm just going to still stick in my live paint bucket tool. I'm going to look up here. And if this is orange, notice they have these kind of oranges in here. So I need a red orange. Maybe that's not a little too red. Let's try this. There, that's a little bit better. It seems a little more orange. You can tell the difference between these. That is great. I need a yellow orange. Let's check. Here's this one. So, and if I don't like any of these, I can always make some adjustments to the color and add some stuff in. I can go to my color swatch. Here is my current color selected. Maybe I want a little more yellow in this. Maybe I want a little less magenta. Maybe that's what I'm good with. Yeah, that looks great. I can really tell it's a little more yellowy. It's different than that orange. That's awesome. So I'm doing that as we kind of go along. I'm going to come over here. Here is like a nice kind of yellowy green. Let's fill that with it. Now I need a blue green, which is kind of going to be a little more turquoisey. Let's do this. And now we need blue violet. And I don't know that I have a really good blue violet, so I'm just going to select violet and come over here and lower my magenta and raise my blue a little bit and kind of put that in there. That is not perfect. Maybe a little more magenta. It just needs to be close enough. I need to understand that you get the principle. It doesn't have to be the perfect color selection, but that's not bad. That's okay. And again, I'm going to go back over here. I need a red violet, so I'm just going to start with violet, and I'm going to lower down the blue a little bit more and click, and that's pretty good. So there you go. There that is. So I now have this lovely color wheel with all my colors. I think what I don't like is the blue, but that's okay. This blue violet will be close enough for us. That is fine. So we have that. Now we can do our tertiary colors. So I can click on here. I'm going to try this. I'm going to go to my, select that one. Want to introduce the tool to you over here. It's the eyedropper. So it looks like a little eye. If you click I on your keyboard, that will select it. And I've got that selected. So let's start off with yellow green. I just click, it samples that color. If I hold my command or control key down, depending on what system you are, it will let you switch to a selection tool. So I can select the next one and select the next one and then let go, and it'll go back to my eyedropper, sample, do that again. And I'm just sampling just the tertiary colors. So I'm skipping every other one. And we'll finish off with yellow orange. And there we go. If you want to notice it took away the outline stroke, you can just select all of those with the selection tool, add a 2-point stroke back in, and there you go. You're right back to where it was. So have some questions to answer here. You can use the text tool. How do you create a tertiary colors? What did I say earlier? It's by mixing a primary and a secondary color together, and they are super easy. Now, let's talk about what complementary colors are. Complementary colors are any colors opposite each other on this color wheel. So red, orange, and blue, green are complementary colors. Green and red, yellow, orange, blue, violet. So there you go, colors opposite each other on the color wheel. Complementary colors, do these swatches. Again, this is just a sampling. I can eyedrop now from my wheel. Maybe I want violet. Hold the command or control key down and sample that. So just fill those with some samples. Pretty simple. Let's talk about monochromatic colors, which include its shades and tints. So us to understand this, let's talk about what a shade is and a tint is. So value is the lightness or darkness of a color. So the lighter the color is, the lower it is in value. It's more closer to white. The darker it is, it gets closer to black. So to create a shade, you add black to a color. To create a tint, you add white to it. And a tone is when you add like gray to the color. So it's a mix of white and black, and it can kind of mute the colors when you do that, but that is creating a tone. So we want to create something monochromatic, and we want to include its shades and tints. So mono means one, a singular color or hue. And just to kind of touch base on that, hue is the name of a color. So if I say, hey, what is that hue you're working with right there? You could say, oh, that's violet. It's blue violet. Same thing as saying, what's the name of that color? So I'm going to select this box. And what I want you to do, come over here to your tools, go to the gradient over here in these panels, make sure that's open, and just go ahead and click on the white and black gradient and apply it in here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on black over here so that becomes highlighted, and I want you to change its location to 50%. It's going to move that right to the middle. And then come over here, and you see how my cursor has a little plus on it? Just click and make sure you click and drag that over to the edge, click down and hold and slide it. So you're going to add another point right there. So there's black, there's white. I want you now to click back on that middle one and double click. And that will open your swatch panel and pick a hue. So here, I'm going to do red. So I've added red. It's now going red all the way up to here. Then it starts adding white in and getting lighter. It goes red, and then it starts adding black in and getting darker. So there is a singular color and all of its tints and shades. So It is giving you a monochromatic. Look at the range of color you have in there to use. I mean, with just one color, I can do some pretty dramatic things by doing tints and shades of that color, as well as just playing with its own value as it gets lighter, right? It becomes more pinkish as it's getting lighter. So there you go, monochromatic. We learned up here that complementary colors are opposite each other on the color wheel. So let's talk about what a split complementary is. So a split complementary is if I look at yellow and I look at violet, let's say I'm coming down, yellow, violet. So instead of going yellow to violet, I'm gonna go to yellow, and then instead of violet, I'm gonna go to red, violet, and blue, violet, the colors on either side of its complement. So that makes it the split. So if I went to blue, green, instead of going to red, orange, I go to red or orange. Are its split complementary? So again, same as up above, you select, use the eyedropper, sample one color, and then do the splits on either side. And again, this is a very nice color harmony because these are a part of this. It works just as well with the yellow as violet would. Again, just giving you a little more option. So you'll do some samples of that. With these, I want you just to select this whole thing so it is selected. Triadic colors, we already talked about it, is the triangle. Colors equally distance from each other on the color wheel. So in this case, you'll select the color, there'll be 3 blank colors between it, and then the next one, 3, the next one. So these 3 we don't use. You can rotate, count 3, the 4th color you use, count 3, 4th color you use. So let me just, zoom out a little bit so I can see everything a little bit better. So you just want to go with the selection tool, make sure you select all of these parts because these aren't grouped. I'm going to go to that live paint. It's going to group them when I go to do this. But let's say I do yellow. Let's fill that with yellow. Let's do this as red. Let's do this as blue. Whoops, I skipped the blue, I think. Let me check. Yes, there it is. There's the blue. There you go. There's one triadic. What if I do this? I want yellow, orange. So whoops, I did not select that, sorry. So deselect, select all of that. Make sure you get everything, including all the lines. Live paint bucket. Let's do my yellow, orange that I used. Then if I use yellow, orange, then I want to do red, violet. And I think I use something like that. And then if I use red, violet, then the other color I want to use would be blue, green. And let's see, I've scrolled too far. So there's my blue, green. So there you go, there is another. So we're going from here to here to here. Again, 3 in between each of those. So there you go. So I'll let you finish that up. Cool colors. If you want to go from yellow, green all the way over here to your red, violet, right? Sorry, you want to go to yellow to here and then from here up. So violet on up. Warm colors, cool colors. Warm colors because they have the reds, orange, and yellow in them. Cool colors have blue, green, violet. There you go. So you've got that happening. You can put some samples of some colors in there. Warm colors usually tend to pop out visually. Warm colors tend, or oh my gosh, cool colors tend to recede. I'm so sorry. Warm colors tend to pop out. So you've already got this for the values. Analogous colors are any colors directly next to each other on the color wheel. So if I have 3 colors, red, violet, violet, blue, violet, are analogous. Red, red, violet, and violet, analogous. They are colors right next to each other on the color wheel. And neutral colors are colors you get when you cross colors, usually colors like browns, grays are in your neutrals. Black and white are not colors at all. We use them as a shade and a tint. So you could even include those into here. But whenever I take two colors on the color wheel, and I'm just going to pull a copy of this for a second, and let me zoom in. So if I remove this, and let's take and put red, let's change this to green. You can see right here in the middle, it really starts to get muddy. It is brown. If I was painting to make brown, I mix red and green together to do that. So neutrals are when you start to combine two opposite colors on the color wheel, or even all your colors, they will create what we call the neutrals. So there you go. You can complete this, finish filling that all out, make sure you answer the questions, save, and then do a save as a PDF, smallest file size to share with me. I hope this was helpful, and good luck completing this exercise. I will talk to you all later. Let me know if you have any questions.